Are you serious, guys? Are you serious? We're very serious. We have reports that rockets are being fired into the Holy Land right now. I've counted at least 10, maybe 12, a list of towns all across Israel that are reporting. See if you can see that. You can see it. List of towns and villages all across the Holy Land reporting that rockets are being fired into Israel. Now, I just checked with the news media. There has no confirmation, because this is just now happening in a real time. There's no confirmation yet, although I do have all my open. I got everything up here looking for Israeli feeds. I may be the first one because it just started 4 minutes ago. Let me put a shout out right now as we're waiting for things to come online, and maybe I'll start getting some feedback coming in from other sources besides my own app here that Heidi has. Quickly, I'll just shout out real fast for Noble Gold. Real fast, guys. You probably think that your 401k is safe, but and that it's growing and that it'd be enough for your retirement. But what if it's not? Here's the truth. Your 401k was never designed to make you wealthy. It was created in a corporate boardroom to shift the retirement cost and the risk onto you, okay? It was designed to keep your money trapped, exposed to the Wall Street crashes, inflations, and the whims of those and the uncertainty that you can't control. Until now, Americans are taking back control by turning to real assets like gold. Gold, a proven asset, a biblical currency. Noble Gold Investment has helped thousands of people protect their future by converting part of their retirement savings into physical gold or to a gold or silver IRA. Go right now, click on the link below this video, guys. Check it out at www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them on the phone tomorrow at 877-646-5347. Let them help you. Learn how safe and easy it is for them to help roll over that 401k into a tax advantage gold IRA without penalties or headaches. And if you qualify, matter of fact, I got one of these. If you qualify, Noble Gold will give you two of these incredible 5-ounce coins. Look at this thing. Two of them. They'll give you two of these. America the Beautiful 5-ounce silver coins. They'll give it to you for free. Two of them if you qualify. Just check it out. Do it right now. Just go to that link below the video at pastorpaulgold.com. All right, so here's what's going on right now. I'm just checking to see. Another Israeli soldier was killed today during an attempt by Hamas abduction in the southern Gaza. Okay, so Netanyahu also has just left the White House a few minutes ago, quietly left. There is no peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Instead, an Israeli soldier was killed during an attempted Hamas abduction in southern Gaza, according to reports. And Benjamin Netanyahu has just left the White House a few minutes ago, very quietly. There is no hostage deal that has been done. And instead, rockets have started flying out of the, apparently out of Yemen. Now, I'm still waiting to confirm that, if it's in Yemen or not. Give me a second here. I'm looking here on this app. This is real time and things are happening here. But 10 or 12 rockets. I'm going to see if I can get a confirmation. A couple different sources I go to when there is rockets flying. And like I said, it just started happening moments ago. About 5 minutes ago. 5, 6 minutes ago. and it was just one rocket after another. Boom, about 8 or 10, and then there was 2 more. It just happened a few moments ago, and so Israel is certainly under an attack. Now we don't know how many is Is this going to be just a massive amount? We don't believe it's Iran. It's probably the Houthis, but I can't confirm that. Wait a minute, Heidi just said something. What's that, Heidi? Let me call it. Where's my phone? Did I leave my phones out there? Okay, I can't hear you. What'd you say? I think I left my phones out there, so I was going to call her. So hang on a minute here. Okay, the launch is from Yemen. So, do we know how many? You don't say? Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at, Heidi's brought me here. The IDF has identified the launch was from Yemen, and they were definitely firing at Jerusalem, and looks like Tel Aviv, mainly Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And I've counted about 10, maybe 12 rockets. So, and this could be because Netanyahu just left the White House. There is no, maybe the negotiations might have broke off. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Heidi's going to keep looking over there. I got this phone here. When it goes off, I can hear it. And then Heidi's going to keep looking. Oh, here we go. Just now, IDF intercepts a missile from Yemen that triggered sirens in numerous towns. So they've just now breaking in. So we were out ahead of the Times of Israel, excuse me. The Times of Israel. Well, I know I'm ahead of Israeli news. Israeli News Live. Yeah, I know I'm ahead of them. But I mean, I'm talking about the Times of Israel just now posting IDF intercepts a missile. Let me grab this and let me get a better look at this. Put it on my other screen so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so Israeli soldier was killed during an attempted Hamas abduction in southern Gaza. That happened today, but now IDF has just intercepted a missile from Yemen that triggered sirens in numerous towns. And Benjamin Netanyahu has left the White House. Netanyahu insists that Trump's strategy for an agreement doesn't involve pressuring Israel. Hamas says it will free 10 hostages during a potential Gaza ceasefire in a rare statement. But Netanyahu is not confirming that. And then while that's going on, the Houthis have begun firing missiles at Israel. So there's mass confusion on what's going on here. Is there a ceasefire deal or not? If they did agree to it, the Houthis didn't hear about it, and they started firing rockets into Israel. And those rockets were headed mostly in the direction of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And I'm checking another couple locations here to see if there's any live coverage here. But there has not been, and it sounds like another, was that another? So we have confusion, and as you can imagine. And that's typical when you're in the fog of war. So the whole situation now is precarious. Benjamin Netanyahu just left the White House quietly. Meanwhile, Hamas said they're willing to do a deal, willing to release 10 hostages. But after they said that, the Houthis have fired about 10 or 12 rockets into Israel. So we have this confusion again as this war continues. You know, you're down to the nitty-gritty now. There's about 24 hostages that are still alive, we hope. And they have the bodies of about 35 others. And you're getting right down to the end where Hamas wants to remain in power. And they're, and Israel's saying, no, you're not going to be in power, and we need our hostages back. So, obviously, now Hamas is desperate, so they're saying, we'll give you 10 live hostages and 18 dead bodies for a 60-day ceasefire, but with the contingency that Hamas is going to get to remain in power. Netanyahu's answer to that is no, you're not going to be left in power. Period. So the Houthis start firing rockets. And people are running to get into the shelters all across Israel as the war continues. Iran's not firing any rockets. Hezbollah's not firing any rockets from southern Lebanon. Hamas hasn't got the capability to do it anymore. And the Houthis are the ones that are responding. And so now what we see, where do we go from here? So there's been so much going on. The red heifer, they sacrificed and burned the ashes of a red heifer that had two black hairs. So it's not official. This was a practice run. This is to teach the priest how to gather the ashes. There's 4 more red heifers still in the stall that are still qualifying, and they're in Shiloh. That's where they did the first. This practice run was done in Shiloh. Meanwhile, there's advancements going on. There was praise and worship and singing and dancing on the Temple Mount, 110 Jewish rabbis. And they even laid down prostrate and prayed toward where the temple would be built, up on the Temple Mount. And they had police protection to let them do that. This is the first time that's ever happened. So there's things moving forward now toward the building of the third temple. While all of this is going on, what if this wasn't practiced? Well, that's a good question, Steve, and it could have been that they did it for real, but I don't think so, because they're not going to do something and say it's a practice. When they go to do it real, they want the world to know. I think Israel's to that point now where they will do it. When they do it, they will do it for real, and they'll tell the world they're doing it for real. And then you'll start seeing cranes bringing, you'll see trucks rolling in with sections of the temple. They've just built an elevator for the people to go up to the Temple Mount on an elevator that may be in a wheelchair or on walkers. That was just constructed. They've already built the living quarters for the high priest to live in. And they've built these right at the Kotel. So they are getting in position. And I really think that this is why Hamas attacked them, is when they heard that the 5 red heifers were there. So I really believe, I mean, it's possible that this was a real deal, and they're just telling everybody it was a practice, and then they'll go do it. But these guys, really, the Israelis are not afraid. When they do it, they do it, and they're not afraid to tell it, because they're planning on building this thing. But they want to build it with an agreement with the Arab world, that they want the world to agree that they can build it, and they want to be at peace when they do it. So we're really moving into another level of prophecy. But Steve, it's a great question, and maybe so. And we're going to keep an eye on all of this. Because, yeah, there's also negotiations not only for a peace deal and to end the war with Israel and Hamas, with now that the bow of Elam has been broken in Jeremiah 49, Israel's not afraid now because Iran can't fire a nuke at them. And so Israel's moving forward now. They also think they've about got this war won. The priests are moving forward. And we are getting close. And also President Trump they've been working with the rest of the Arab world trying to structure expanding the Abraham Accord with bringing on these other nations to be a part of it. So all of this is happening simultaneously, guys. This is incredible. And oh, by the way, Emmanuel Macron and the Saudi Arabians were supposed to go to the UN to draw out a 2-state solution. Macron canceled it. Canceled it. And the reason they canceled it is because the Abraham Accord, expanding of it, is in process. And that's not going to include a 2-state. Instead, I think Israel's trying to get permission to build the temple. So there's a lot of negotiating going on in the back rooms. And that's why Netanyahu's been there for 3 days. As there's a lot of strategy. Okay, we do have some information. The United States said to tell the mediators it won't let Israel resume the Gaza war as optimism for the deal is swirling. And then it says, a new strategy for destroying Hamas. Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, says that the latest phase deal is almost finalized, and he believes it will lead to the lasting peace. We'll know soon enough, but now we know Netanyahu has left the building, has left the White House tonight, not just a few minutes ago when these rockets started. He left, and then the rockets started flying out by the Houthis. There's a lot going on here right now. We're going to be in prayer. We want you to pray. Let me just see if there's another live update coming in. Netanyahu 9 minutes ago has just told the hostage families that progress has been made toward Gaza truce deal. So that was 9 minutes ago. Benjamin Netanyahu just told the hostage families there has been progress made toward maybe a Gaza truce or a peace, or I should say a ceasefire, and that would be to get 10 of these hostages released over a 60-day period. Not just, they just don't let them go. They drag this thing out as long as they can because they're trying to negotiate to stay in power. Meanwhile, Netanyahu just wants to crush them and get all the hostages. So it's a very, very cat and mouse game going on here in this whole situation. So I'm going to check one more time over here. but there doesn't look like there's any live feed coming in. So, and the rockets have quieted down, and maybe that was just all there's going to be, hopefully. But we'll keep you up to speed as much as we can. It's got to be about 6 o'clock in the morning in Israel right now. 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning in Israel. So it was the Houthis who fired the rockets. We have an app here that tells us every time a rocket is fired. Heidi has one. It started going off. I counted about 10. It might have been 12 because there was 2 more that when I got in here and was turning on the cameras. Meanwhile, Netanyahu had just left the White House. It was just like 5 minutes after he left the White House that these rockets by the Houthis from Yemen started flying into Israel. The rocket people started running to their shelters all across Israel, especially in Tel Aviv and all the way into Jerusalem. And yet Netanyahu, about 10, 11 minutes ago, made a phone call apparently to the hostage families and told them that very close to a ceasefire deal that would release 10 hostages over 60 days. But that deal's not finalized. So, and then the Houthi rebels started firing rockets. So that's the kind of things that go on here. It's just crazy. Israel absolutely has a right to defend themselves and has a right to defeat their enemies who have fired over 30,000 rockets at Israel in the last year and a half and took 250 hostages and butchered 1,200 of their innocent civilians. So this is where we're at. It's a time of great sorrow, really. It's a time of war. President Trump is trying every way in the world to end this. I'll be back, guys, with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're certainly living in the end times. Stay tuned right here to the coming apocalypse. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. If we're living in the end times, guys. We're living in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Do not wait around to see how it's going to play out, because if you do, you'll be left behind. All right, someone said, could you play a song before you go? I'll be back. There's more rockets. Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? Another rocket just Friday's fired. Disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of a dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. house of Israel, prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live. All right, there was the Houthis did hit a cargo ship today. And one of the sailors is missing. He's feared that he's been kidnapped by the Houthis. A deadly attack on a cargo ship. A Lithuanian. It looks like it was a hang on a second. The Houthis, a Liberian flagged cargo ship was attacked by the Houthis, the Yemen Houthi rebels, and they sank the boat in the Red Sea with a European naval force in the Mideast saying that only 6 out of 25 people who were on the boat have been rescued. 4 of the crew are dead, 15 are missing, and they're afraid they're either dead or the Houthis might have gotten some of them and took them hostage. They're not sure. But 6 of the crew are safe out of 25 people on this ship. It was a cargo ship. It was a Liberian owned or a Liberian flag on the boat. Now, it doesn't mean the boat was from Liberia. It could have been owned by someone else, but the Houthis hit it. They sank the boat. Only 6 sailors were saved. The others, 4 of the sailors are dead, and the other 15 are still missing and believed to be either dead or some could have been kidnapped. Not sure. This happened today in the Red Sea. And then the Houthis have fired at least 10 rockets, maybe 12, into Israel tonight. While Netanyahu was at the White House negotiating, along with Trump, on a potential ceasefire try to get the release of 10 hostages. Now, 5 minutes ago, this just came in. Gaza deal is possible in a week or two, but not in the next day or so, according to a senior Israeli official has just told Reuters. So this is why Netanyahu has left the White House. There's no deal, maybe in a week or two. Meanwhile, Houthis have fired at least 10, maybe 12 rockets into Israel, and the Houthis have sunk a cargo ship, not a military ship, but just an innocent cargo ship. They have sunk the ship. 6 sailors have been rescued. 4 sailors are dead, and 15 are missing. Could be dead, or some of them could be kidnapped. Still not sure. So the Houthis have struck again. I'll let you guys go, and we'll keep you up to speed. If there's any more developments, stay with us here. Again, give your life to Jesus Christ, because, guys, these are the end times, okay? These are the end times, without question. We're running out of time, too. Jesus is coming soon. If you haven't got your tickets for the webinar, it's coming up July 25th. Silencing the Serpent. Silencing the Serpent. It's going to be powerful. Very powerful. Wow. We surely need to see that serpent silenced. Are you saved? Don't get left behind.